What's up everybody, we're back from Loop Fest, and it's only 5 months until Miles of Mayhem, so it's time to start panicking. Everybody panic! Plasma Man intake, super nice, super baller. Mine's gonna be just as cool, I think. It's not really connected to anything, so it can't really do anything. So my job today is start connecting the turbos from the turbos to the intercooler, and then from the intercooler to the throttle body. Easy, right? Wrong, hard, let's start. I can't express to you how much I love this look. Well, besides the rag being here, that's pretty ugly. But like this, that looks so good. I can't believe I made that all fit in there. Like full exhaust, dude. To start things off, we have some Black Sheep Industries 2.5 inch aluminum V-band clamps. This is actually our own company, Black Sheep Industries. We have V-bands, we have turbos, adrenal turbos. We sell all kinds of good stuff for your boosted applications. I love how thick the flanges are on these, so when you weld them, you don't normally warp them just because there's so much meat on the flanges. The thinner ones you tend to warp, and then, this is my favorite part, they're like quick release. BlackSheepIndustries.ca, Boosted Lifestyle gets you 10% off. All right, first things first, we cut off all the end pieces. Even the top one, we're gonna V-band it. We have 2.5 inch here, 4 inch up there. Like I said, BSI V-band clamps. Get our first welds done. Now that that's over and done with, not my cleanest welding by far. Could use a little bit extra practice. We're gonna put this back in here so we can finally start building piping. The outside of the turbos are gonna stay rubber, and the intercooler side is gonna stay V-band. That way you can't really blow it off because you'd have to like snap the V-band in order to blow it off. For intercooler piping, I don't really have a method that I like doing. I just kind of do it because I can't picture things in my head and I'm no good at measuring anyways, so I just kind of wing it. Looks like this pipe wants to go around there and then around that far, so that'll be our first cut. Right there. Not a perfect cut, so I'll take it over to the belt sander. From here I just use like a high grit and I make sure it's flat, and then I go around the outside edges like this. And then I use a deburring tool on the inside to get rid of the burrs on the inside. And then also, if you really need to slightly angle this, you can just put it on the belt sander flat, tip it to one side, and just let it kind of give you a little bit of an angle if you're stuck in a position. And then, just like that, we're kind of in the ballpark. Here's our first pipe mocked up. It is still a little bit warm, but it does need one little extra piece on it, but it kind of fits. Kind of fits somewhere right there. And like I said, it just needs another little piece cut off this end and then angled on the other end. Well, since we got this much done, I got a new toy that I've got to put away. I was really disappointed that I couldn't really cut or like bend aluminum in a good way to make tanks and stuff. So we made a little bit of an investment. We got this 3-in-1 unit here. It does rolling, braking, and cutting. I have to put it on my shelf somehow, all the way over there. But I think that's where it's gonna live. So we gotta lift this thing up, get it past the F1 cart, onto the shelf without dying. So for right now, it's gonna live right here beside the lathe. I'm actually gonna take some time to read the instructions because I do not know how any of this works. And it'd be nice to figure it out. So this is a roller up top for rolling metal, I assume. This is the brake for bending it. It looks like it's at a just 90 degrees. So if we need a different angle, I don't know how we do that. And this is the shear part of it, which I don't know how you move this down. Maybe it's this arm? I don't know. We're gonna find out when we read the instructions like a real man wouldn't. Hog jogger Dan doesn't know what's going on either.
No, not a damn thing. In the hog jogger, yes.
You see that? Already, it won't bend. I think this might be 16 or 18 gauge metal. I don't know how to tell the difference. Probably get my gauge. It's already like underperforming from what I want, but it is a nifty little tool to have in the shop just in case. Because it does bend metal, which is gonna be nice to make tanks and stuff. It just doesn't shear it very well. And what I've been using to cut metal is like a circular saw, and I just didn't want all like the chips to be everywhere, because every time you cut something aluminum with a circular saw, it goes everywhere. So avoid the mess in here. We got this little engine to run. This is a nitro version. This is our gasoline version. They're both very similar. This one's like 8.6 cc. This one's like 7 cc. Both 4-stroke, both single overhead cam. Kind of cool. Here's a clip of it. And now I'm constantly trying to fill the shop with things I don't need, obviously, but always stuff to try and make things better, which explains why we got the shear over there. However, it doesn't really shear that good on the aluminum that I want to use. We got a little bit of extra money, so we bought some transfer punches. These are always nice to have. And we bought this shear, so we're gonna see if this one works on cutting sheet metal. I've drawn this line right here, and we're just gonna see how close we can get to cutting that. All right, that last one didn't film, so we're gonna do this again. We're just gonna make a mark, but we're also gonna make it wide enough that we can put it in the press over there maybe. So we're just gonna go, we need a straight line to follow. I know that these things have decent power to them, but I've learned from cutting the first time that slow is actually cuts a lot better in this thing. So let's not cut our chair. Get this on that line. I just gotta remember what side it goes on when I cut stuff after. Oh my. That's awesome. That's gonna be, like, that's a pretty straight line, and that's gonna be perfect for cutting tanks. Now what I really wanna do is take this over to that thing and see if we can press or break this into a 90. This is gonna be the real test of whether this thing is useful or not. I didn't mark it at any point, so let's just see. Okay, well it bends that like butter. It might have to be adjusted down some because that's not quite 90 degrees. But then if this goes in here, put another 90 there. Yeah, that's gonna be useful, I think. Alrighty, let's continue our intercooler piping on this side. Enough friggin' around.
Frig off, burp.
Friggin' Randy. Just cut a bit off this pipe, fits kind of in there. Cut the 45 real short so it's, you know, short. We swapped our 45 out for a 90 and something like that. Well, if this isn't hot now, in theory it should fit in here. Just like that. Tack weld that piece in place, and that's it for turbo sides. If I fingered this out correctly, this should fit. Mind the shitty tack weld, but this should fit. Just like yay. Mint. Weld that up. Weld the flanges on it. Done. There it is, all welded in place, except for the backside, because I actually welded it on the car while it was clamped to the V-band, so we gotta get the underside after. And we gotta get the V-bands down here, but that is it for the charge piping. We still have to add our Black Sheep Industries blow-off valve, which is our own company. Awesome blow-off valves, awesome price. Check it out, blacksheepindustries.ca. I think what I want to do now, we have to figure out the cooling system, of course. I might play around with cutting up some plate and bending it just because it's a new toy. I don't want to play with it. So I'm gonna play with that instead of doing things that would further this turbo kit. It's okay, I want to have fun. I'm gonna start with this big piece of plate, mark something out, start playing some cutty-cutty. I ended up bending up this piece. It was gonna be an angle tank or somewhere right there. I'm not sure how much I like it. I might try something a little bit different. I might try and utilize this bar at the bottom in order to make this tank. Take this a piece. Exactly how I imagined it. So here is roughly my tank. Oops. This plate's gonna go on the back side. Got a plate on both sides. I'm gonna build two of these. That way one can go on this side. It'll be for the breather system. This will be for the two valve covers. And then I'll put one on the other side. And this one will be for the coolant, and that'll just feed into the bottom coolant hose. Mirrored. Just gotta build some plates now. Now this tank right here is going to be our catch can tank for the engine. So we're gonna put two -12 bungs up here somewhere. What we need to do is build a baffle plate, so if we put the filter on top, we want the oil to come in, or the vapors to come in, like get sloshed around a little bit, and then so they don't go out the breather, like straight shot. Just working with a little bit of ideas here, trying to make something to divert it down first, and then it's gotta scoop back up and breathe out through the top. So I'm playing around with a piece of plate. I'll figure something out. I just like, you just gotta finger it out sometimes. I think I've got a solution. I've got a plate down in the bottom here. I'm going to mark with this piece of marker. We're gonna cut that piece of plate out. This one right here. To be completely honest, I just have fun tinkering, and this is fun. Just building something. If you don't need to build something and be stressed out about it, and you can just tinker with it, it's so much fun. All I did was weld that piece of angle to this plate, put some holes in this side so it comes in here, it has to go down underneath the plate and then through these holes in order to get to the other side. That's just gonna go in our tank. Like it's tack welded in place. Good to go. Fits quite well, actually. Started drilling out my holes for these bungs. Only thing is I can't really drill that hole without drilling through this plate. So that was smart, Kyle. But what I'm gonna do, because I'm a little rebel badass like that, I'm actually gonna cut this drill bit off and just use like the thicker portions, because I like it thick. The bottom portion of this drill bit's already worn out, so who cares? I don't recommend doing this unless you're like super rich like me, obviously. My God, I'm a genius. Perfect. 2 bungs. Need a hole in the bottom to drain the catch can. And one more hole in the top of this one for our breather. Everything makes such a mess. Not perfect welding, because welding 16 gauge aluminum is pretty tough, but 2 bungs in, breather on the top, and then on the back side there's actually a spot that I can weld the drain, so you can drain it through the fender there. Got a little bit of my glove on there. Now that the tanks are done, the next biggest challenge is mounting them. I don't want it to look dumb, so I've made this plate right here, which I gotta clean up a little bit more, but the tank is gonna fit somewhere there. It's gonna tip up a little bit more, but this is going to go on that. We're going to drill and tap this because it's like 1/8 inch thick, I think. 2 little M6 bolts. We'll weld that to the tank, and then it'll rest down there. We'll put some rubber down there and bolt on top. Shouldn't move. 2 bolts. Minty fresh. Now these should go like these. Just took it out of there. There it goes. Like these. Not bad for a little janky ass kid with some average tools. Goes up in there pretty nice. This one actually has a little bit of a bow in it, just because I welded this bung on before I welded the plate on, and that actually warped the material a little bit. It'll be okay. I have to build the same thing on this side. And this needs a rad cap on the top, a 6am bung on the side, and then the one over here needs a 1/8 NPT on the bottom, and then that is it for the tanks. And you know what? It looks pretty decent. Man, I feel like I order things because I think I'm gonna need them, like this cast elbow. Like, I thought I genuinely was gonna need this, so I had to order it 3 weeks ago so I would have it today. Too bad I don't need it because I've already got this elbow built that I put here. Not to mention that this tight radius elbow looks a lot better than this elbow anyways, but like, now what am I gonna do with this? Why do I need a 4-inch elbow? I don't. Same thing with this 90 and 45. Thought I was gonna need it. Don't end up needing it. And that's how I become a hoarder. I'm eventually gonna need this stuff, so I have to hold on to it now because I paid money for it, and now I can't get rid of it. Big sag. Making the second bracket now, I just have to tap the second hole, put the tank up there, tack weld it in place, pull it off, weld it up, put it back in place, and then it's done. It's looking cool, man. You gotta trust the process. Gina says that all the time, and I don't believe her. And then when I watch her like do her body paint stuff, it looks a little bit weird at start, and then at the end, I'm like, how'd you do that? It's all in the process. And there you have it, second tank done, just like that. 2 tanks made. A little bit of a flaw on this one with a little bit of warp, but once you paint it and stuff, it'll be okay. Once you get a line in there, you can't see it anymore. You're gonna notice it now that I told you though, so just shut up. Like I said, we still have to weld the blow-off valve on, but we made great progress on this today, and I love it. Don't worry, I haven't forgot about the F1 car. We're still working on that. I'm just getting the tires and wheels mounted so we can bolt those on and then start working on our suspension stuff. This one's a little bit slower now that race season is fastly approaching, so I'm gonna do my best to be out here hustling and get both these things done. And then my Fox and Gina's Fox, there's a lot that needs to be done. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe, like the video. Shop Black Sheep Industries. Peace easy, get that V.